Well, welcome to the chat with Netta Fei, and we're going to talk about creative
Yay.
journeys today. And
Yay.
yeah, hello. And Robert Ian's cool. Robert's joining. He's a friend of mine.
Hi,
Been a friend of mine for a number of
Robert.
years. Yeah, he's in Colorado.
Okay.
Um, so welcome to the chat. We wanted to talk. I wanted to interview Netta because I've seen her on Substack like many other people, and
Mhm.
I don't know a lot about you other than you always just have this beautiful, bright, inspiring presence when I
Mm.
see you, and you talk to a lot of different people about many different things.
Mhm.
Um, and your background is as a writer, and I just thought, I don't know, I just reach out when I get that feeling, and I
Mhm.
just reach out and say, I'll see if maybe she'll talk to me. Maybe
Yeah,
she'll talk to me.
I'm so
And you were so
excited.
great. Yeah. So,
I'm
so
happy to be
this
here.
this interview is going to become compiled with your actual written interview for the Creative Journey series, which will up here Thursday. It'll come up
Okay.
on the blog. But today
Okay.
we're chatting about what we want to chat about.
What we want to chat about? Yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
comes up?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate the invite, and I'm so excited to be here. I love what you do. There's good feeling and energy coming out of that.
yeah.
So,
Oh, good. Thank you.
whenever I wanna be uplifted, I go, "Let me see what Laurie's doing."
That's good. Oh,
She's
that's
painting
wonderful.
and covering up stuff,
Yeah, yeah. That's always doesn't know where that's going.
turning things
Um,
upside down.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to start talking a little bit about. I saw your last live. I think I watched it, and you were talking about find something you're grateful for, and in it you talked about the lessons you learned from writing the book. You have a 1 year anniversary of your book being out.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So if you want to reflect, yeah,
Sure,
would you talk
happy to
about that?
talk about that. Yeah, happy to talk about that. So, um on the 31st of October, I celebrated my first book anniversary of this novel I wrote called A Most Useful Betrothal. It is a biblical fiction and my imaginating, my interpreting 1 Samuel 23 and 2 that introduces a woman called Abigail, is what I called it. Most people would say Abigail, but I was trying to use original, as close to original names as I could. So I call her Abigail, Abby for short. It describes her as being very intelligent, very beautiful, but married to a fool. And that, I grew up on a diet rich of Bible. That's just where I came from.
Yeah.
But running into that scripture, I had done it before, and it's always struck me as like, why would the Bible introduce her that way? And she's the only woman introduced that way, as
Mhm.
beautiful, intelligent, married to a fool. So, in my experiencing that same type of a journey, considering myself somewhat, intelligent, somewhat nice looking, ended up marrying to someone incompatible. And we tried to stick it out for a long time for different type of reasons that had nothing to do with who he was or who I was, but for cultural reasons, whatever, we stuck it out. And then several of my friends were in a similar boat, finding themselves in incompatible situations. So as I was going through mine, this came back to me, and I started to write about what it looks like, what it looked like for her, knowing what it was looking like for me. So it's
Yeah.
part therapeutic, part creation, and diving into this story, part safety net because I could tell her story without telling mine.
Yeah. Right.
you know.
Right. 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 Right.
So anyway, it's been a year since it's been out. It was a wonderful experience. I learned a lot of things, what to do, what not to do. And life is like that. As we go along, we learn what to do and what not to do. But I celebrated the 1 year on the 31st. And in that celebration, I wanted to share with everyone that there's always something to celebrate. There's always something good we have going on, and to focus on that. Partly because of the celebration, but also partly with the struggles that we're going through as a country, as a people, with so much uncertainty and things that are impacting significant things in people's lives, food security, health care, things like that. In the midst of those things, I feel like it's important to find something good to focus on that. And so that was what kind of drove that last kind of live. And that was the only time I did it just by myself to kind of share those thoughts about that experience of writing the book, it being a year old, and how we can find good in just about everything if we want to see it.
Yeah.
So hopefully it encourages people to want to see it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's huge right now because and that's a lot what I also try to focus on, and I think that's the more people we can just get to know each other,
Mm-hmm.
and, I think these lives are a wonderful way to do it because every time 2 people get together to talk, another 40 people, 50 people, who knows how many people end up watching, and
Mm-hmm.
they get to know people. You get to
Mm-hmm.
know other people, and it for me anyway, it removes, um, any kind of, for me, well, it's like each day that happens, it gets me closer to someone else I don't know, and I feel like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
my community's getting bigger. My community's getting bigger. I know more people in my community. I know more, and it feels good. It feels good. A place where you can come together with people and celebrate the things that we are grateful for, and we can celebrate the things that we're good at. And that was another thing you
Yes.
talked about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to celebrate that I wrote this book and
Yeah.
it's been out a year. And what an accomplishment this was.
Yes. Yeah.
You
That
have it in your hand to hold up and
that I
share with
did
people.
it.
And it's your own story.
It is. It is. And I like that point you make, Laurie, that, in these conversations, in sharing the things that we experience, whether they be really positive outcomes or maybe not so positive, we learn that, yeah, we're different, but we're not so different.
Yeah.
And I can learn from what you're doing. Hopefully you can learn from me. We can learn from each other and our connections grow. But I think it brings our community smaller because we can
It,
we can we can connect together,
yeah. Yeah.
right? We can
Right.
connect, and that's
Yeah.
important.
I agree.
Yeah.
Um, um, in that writing too, you talked about your process of writing and what you learned about your process about just letting the divine come through you
Yes.
in your writing process, and I know you wanna speak a little bit more about that because I definitely see a
Sure.
lot of parallels with that, the painting, you know?
Sure, sure, sure. And it's interesting, there's a thread in creating anything that are similar, where there's visual, written word, music, all of those, there's some threads that runs through them that are similar. My writing training and background was a little bit more heart than fiction. It was journalism. There was structure in it. Certain things you wrote. There was some technical writing I had to do. There's some structure in it. So I always wanted to write fiction, and I like more the free flowing writing. But when I started in it, I was constraining myself, and I was critiquing every word and every sentence, and it had to have so much meaning, and everything about my early process was stagnating. It was dragging out the process because, as some of my friends would say, I was overthinking things.
Sh
You get caught up
Sure.
into, oh, did you use the right word? Is that good? Go back never. So it took me a week to write, a paragraph, and then I'd go back and write it all over again.
Yeah.
So in that learning and in that connecting with other writers, I accepted that I could write something that might have been not so good at first, but just keep going. And then you go back and refine, and you go back, you step back and you look at it, and it's a process of creating and recreating and creating and recreating until you've gotten to the end of that, and you can say, okay, that's good, that's good. But you have to allow it. I've learned you have to allow it. Just allow it to come through, let it come out, write it down, and you'll get the meaning or the big picture a little bit later. And the more I did that, the better it felt. And I think the better the outcomes were because I
Mhm.
just allowed what was in to come out. And I think that makes a big difference,
Sure.
to feel it in my heart, in my spirit, and less so with my brain, that it has to be
Yeah.
this way or has to be that way.
Yeah.
And I think the most creative things that we as humans do goes outside the box. When we express things that we haven't seen before, when we're unafraid to go beyond and do something differently.
Yeah. That's what car writes finish, then edit. That's really important.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I learned that, Carl. Yeah. Just finish it and then go back and edit it. When you're editing along the way, you never finish.
Yeah. So how was that process? Like when you sit down, you're like, I have this idea in my head for a book. I have this idea in my head. And you said it's kind of paralleling your personal progress, your personal process, what was going on in
Mhm.
your life at the time. Um, Tell us a little bit about like, did you just sit down at your computer one day or did you just sit down at a journal and go, here we go. I'm right here. Or like, tell us about that process.
Yeah, so I have been writing a long time. I started with my high school newspaper, and I wrote there. Got a journalism degree. I got corporate jobs that I had was very much heavy into writing, but it was again structured, not so much free form or freely exploring things. Um, and when I started going through my own personal struggles, mainly with my marriage. That was a big thing because I was experiencing a lot of feeling of failure, of letting my parents down, of being separated from God, I mean, all of these things, but have tried to hold everything together because it needed to be together, and I'm gonna be doomed if if it fails.
Yeah.
Just the fear of failure without even looking at what I was creating or even had created at the time. So when I knew it was circling the drain, and even then, I went through a 7-year period of that drain cycling. But in that, I went through the grief process of it, even before I had divorce papers. And I went through writing things out. I would draw pictures of who I was then, who I am now, where I want to go. I would write out things of, what was my contribution to this situation, right? Because if it was incompatible for me, it was incompatible for him. How did I get here? What did I do to allow this? And who am I now? Where do I wanna go? And that came out in writing and drawing and sketching, and then I started thinking about Abby's experience, and I just started taking notes and thinking, Who was she? What must life had been like for her? you know, back thousands of years ago in a heavy patriarchal society, just all of those things. And it became, again, therapeutic. I could imagine, I could experience myself through her evolution, my evolution. And it was just at the computer, just start jotting things down. I got excited about researching what things must have been like in her life. And it was a way of freeing. So sometimes when she would speak, she would be speaking for me on the paper. When people would say things to her, I would feel like they were saying it to me, and how would I respond? So it was just the writing down, but I think expressing things out, getting things out. And I think in creating, it's a lot of what it is, the things that are on the inside of us wanting to express themselves out. And that can take many forms. But it's the getting it out, allowing it to get out, and seeing then what it looks like and what it's saying to you. For me, it helped me to see what was on the inside of me. What was I thinking? And now where I want to go. So it's kind of telling a story of what had been, what is, and what is to come. And one thing I got excited about it was that if I created this thing as a creator, then I can recreate it or uncreate it or redo. I can create something else.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
and, and when I saw your piece where you had done some artwork, but you were redoing it and you painted it over with I don't know, it was white
yeah,
paint
yeah,
or something. It's
yeah.
it's very much that. You know, I see us, our essence are the same. All of us came here, I believe, to create. I believe we are each a piece of the creator, whatever you might describe or however you refer to that energy, yeah,
Mhm.
that creates things. We are that in our essence, which means between us, there is no difference. The only thing difference is how that is expressed. I think that energy is the same in each of us, enjoying this space as our individual expression. In that though, that means we are hella creators, right? If
Right.
everyone were to look at their space right now where they are and see the doorknob and the nail and the frame and the computer, whatever, it was once in someone's mind,
Mhm.
right? It
Right,
started there first and
right,
came out. These amazing things we now use as if they were nothing. The mobile phone,
yep,
airplane,
yeah, yeah,
flushing toilets
right.
first started in someone's mind. That's how powerful we are as creators.
Mhm.
And when we start to take responsibility for it, we're even much more that,
Yeah,
right? When we stop giving that power away because we think someone else is greater, better, smarter. So I'm going to let them dictate what's happened to me. Then we weaken that thing that's just in us. It
right,
starts to go dormant
right.
because we're expressing someone else, not us. So I think it's just important that we understand that these things we experiencing a lot of times not happening to us, they're happening with us, because we are part of that creation. We are co-creating everything we do, and it starts with our thoughts. The cool thing about creating uh, art, music, books, whatever, is that we all get to see what's inside of the other person. Right. We get to see
Yeah, yeah,
what's coming out of Laurie. We get to
yeah,
see
yeah,
what's coming out of Netta. We get to see
yeah,
what's coming out of everyone else on this call. We get to see it. And I applaud everyone for being brave enough to do that,
yeah.
right? To
'Cause
put the writings out there,
yeah,
to put the
'cause you're really
artwork out there.
you telling your story, even though through this historical fiction, biblical
Mhm.
fiction, it's
Mhm.
still your story.
Mhm.
So, like, Netta's putting herself in a vulnerable position. Every time we
Mhm.
create, I think there's this certain vulnerability that you really have to embrace and trust that it's your like, and we could talk about your true self, is that giving a space for you to experience that true self is a greater thing from the creator itself is that not to deny it. And yes, you can edit it and it can and change. But what I love what you said about is if it's not going, and we do this a lot as artists and writers, you can always rewrite it. You can always rewrite your
Yes.
script. You can always
Yes.
remake your painting. But I
Yes.
think for people who aren't, I saw some figure the other day on Substack that there are like 17 times as many people, um, 17 times more people that don't read or who are not creators, but they're coming to Substack to get creative content.
Mm.
And just think if those 17 times more people could just start a creative process that and or get connected to a creative process in themselves, um, would be not only so healing for them, but then their stories are shared and their
Yes.
experience is
Yeah.
verified
Yes.
validated.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah. And there's something about Substack that supports that. I didn't see it in the fine print or anything, but coming on here, it seems there's an energy that says, I want to see what you're doing. Do what you do because I want to see it. I want to connect with you for doing what it. And I don't feel the judgment of good or bad or whatever.
right.
There's something about this space that's different from any other social media platforms that I've interacted with, and I like that.
Agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
and I like that we can come together and talk about it, and it's okay. We don't always have to agree, but I
Right.
think each conversation moves the needle forward toward community and toward our being able to see each other as self, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
that's a nice little segue into your, True Self
Sure.
Society. Could you
Yeah,
talk a
sure,
little bit
sure,
about
sure,
that?
sure. And that also came in my wilderness experience. That's what I call it, my 7-year
I
wilderness
read that.
experience to understand what was happening because it was very different from anything I had known. The more people I meet, the more I understand that in some ways I grew up under a rock in a very isolated rural community. Everyone kind of looked and talked alike and everything. And I didn't get a lot of insight into other people's experience outside of our small, wonderful, close knit community.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
the more I did, the more I met people, the more I learned is that, we're all very, different and we all experience life in different kind of ways. So going through my issue with the divorce and how I had been a participant in creating that, I realized that I had not been living my true self. I had been living the self that someone else gave me, someone who loved me for my protection in their mind. Right. They say if
Mhm.
you walk this way, do these things, say these things, look this way,
Yeah.
you will be protected. And I will have done my job because you're protected and good things will come and everything good. We'll end up in heaven all together and, everything's great. But in that moment, I realized this is not who I truly am. I understand where this comes from, but I need to live what's true for me. These last couple of decades have not been true. They've been really performative. They've been walking the yellow brick road. They've been, on the path of righteousness in a sense,
Mhm,
but it has not been true. So
mhm.
I committed that time and in writing the book that I was going to find and live my true self. And when I started to do that, it was an inch by inch and started to get more and more in depth. The more I did that, the more I allowed that for other people. More I accepted other
Mm,
people and accepted that it's okay for you to be you, for me to be me. We're gonna have to agree. You make your choice, I make your choice. We're gonna
mm,
explore it together. Tell me what you found out by living that way, and I'll tell you what I found out about living this way. But
mhm.
at the end of the day, I'm honest and true to myself. I can enjoy my life. I can take responsibility for it. It is mine, and I'm going to enjoy it. And that's what end up birthing True Self Society because it's
Okay.
a message that I wanted to send to everyone. And I focused on Black women because I think our being at the intersection of race and gender, we learned to perform a lot of different roles. We were on the stage of performing these roles that we thought we should perform,
Mhm.
again, by message given to us by people we love, but are not quite authentic. So I thought, let me start there. Let me start with what I know, and even then we're all different, but let me start with the experiences I know that are
Sure.
common among Black women, and then
Mhm.
hopefully in that there'll be something for other people to tap into as well.
Sure.
So that's why I focus on that. And so True Self Society is my community and publication where I want to encourage people to go within, to look within, to question them and everything around them to find out who is that person inside of me? Who am I? And let me be bold enough to live that person. And out of that will come elevation of me, freedom, a joy filled life every day. It may not mean happiness. It doesn't
Right.
mean we will be without struggle. It just
Right.
means I'm going to be confident in what I am telling myself. I can trust me. And because I trust me, I don't have to worry about people around me.
Right.
I'm gonna make decisions based on who I am, where I want to go, and who rides with that. And the people who don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
They can go other places and we can be fine. I don't have to
Yeah.
take that as an insult or as a threat or anything because I'm good with me. And that's where I want this to grow. That we
Yeah.
can get to that point and live true self. Ultimate true self, again, is what I described earlier, the creator at the source, the creator at the hub. We are that one thing experiencing this life here, our ultimate true self. But, there's a journey to get there. There's a kind of
Right.
ladder to get there. There's steps to get there. And in those steps, a lot of times we're unlearning some of the things that we hold dear.
Hmm.
Again, that was given to us by people who gave us what they knew.
Right.
But a lot of those things they knew were confining to something more earthly, if you
Yeah.
understand what I'm
I
saying.
do. I do. I
Yeah,
do think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to come up to some of these comments here because you're getting a
Okay.
lot of really feedback. Juliana said, "Oh my goodness, I just wrote about this today," and
Okay.
Juliana's been giving you a lot of goodness. This is so important to me. And Reverend Evelyn just came in. Um, she says she's so grateful for your words. Um, I think that if you guys have questions for Netta, please put them in the chat. Let's see, Reverend. Unlearning is a sacred process. Um,
Ooh.
Laura, you locked in. Yeah. Yes. I think
And I want
this,
Juliana to send me what you wrote, please.
yeah,
If you find me, I want to read that.
sure. Um, this unlearning, what Reverend Evelyn is saying is that, you know, like Netta, I also went through a divorce and,
Mhm.
15 some years ago. And it's so like if you could just take your younger self and teach them to be your true self that you are in your 40s or in your 50s or 60s, it's,
Yeah.
it's like it's the same thing. I know, and I think also why what you're talking about is so important because you can help people recognize if they're not feeling authentic in themselves and that they don't have to live this life or they don't have to get into this marriage because just to satisfy your parents
Yeah.
or to satisfy your community
Yes.
or to satisfy your friends, what your friend group is doing. All those
Yeah.
choices I made, I did the same. I created my own life then.
Yeah.
What I wasn't in shackles and
Yeah.
nobody made me
Yeah.
make those choices. I
Yeah.
made them and they were very similarly not good.
Yeah.
I just was like almost going on autopilot
Yeah.
and not even knowing who Lori was,
Yeah.
just what everybody else wanted Lori to be.
To be.
And
Yeah.
I feel like Substack, just to tie it back in now, is why I find it's a really kind of sacred place to be. Almost like sacred might be a little heavy, but that there are there are people that are really encouraging others to come find this true self, find
Yes.
a platform where you can put out your collages, you can put out your
Mhm.
poetry, you can put out your writing,
Mhm.
and and there's millions of people on there to support you into it. And sometimes you might put it out and you feel really vulnerable and you might not get anybody. You might have
Mhm.
silent posts that go silent, but
Mhm.
you've still exercised them from your body and you're
Yes.
still out there sharing them with people. And I think
Yes.
sometimes it does take a little bit of time on
Yes.
this platform, but there are there are all kinds of people to
Yes.
connect with. And
Yes. Yes.
Um, that's why I
Yeah.
think it's and each time you do that, it gives people courage and validation and other things too. Well, if
Mhm.
Netta did that, I think I think I could maybe do that too,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I
Um,
feel the same way. When I
yeah,
see you do it, Laurie, or any of Jackie, Evelyn, everybody on this call, I feel the same way. Oh, they did this. I might could do that, or what I take from that, and it doesn't feel um competitive. It feels
right.
collaborative. It's still like we're
Yeah,
in the same energy, moving in the same direction,
yeah,
which is a perfect way, I think, to be. That we don't have to compete. And when you are true self, and it is a journey, when you are true self, you can put something out there and you may not get a response, but you're okay because
yeah.
something in you wanted you to put it out
Want
there.
to be said.
Yeah, said, done, felt,
Yeah,
whatever, and it
yeah,
did it. It's energy that we're
yeah,
putting out there. It does not diminish, right? That energy does not diminish. You put it out there, and it will find some ways. It might be a month later that someone
right.
makes a comment on that
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that it
right.
finds it. So I say lift up your true self. It will draw the other people that belongs in your camp.
Yeah,
We are energetic beings, just
yeah,
powerful beyond belief. So it will draw. Yeah.
yeah,
And with
yeah.
with the true self, I've found that it compels us to change definitions that we've held on to also. What means success for me? It changes when you start living your own truth. What makes me joyful? Where do I want to go? We start to unchain ourselves from um, standards and definitions and uh, perspectives that other people gave us,
Mhm.
and not all of those people who gave us that were loving toward us, right? Some of them
Right.
were captors. Some of us
Yeah,
were people were trying to hold you down because you're shining too brilliantly. So they
yeah,
start to plant things, on you to try to diminish your light. So that's when you have to know, yeah, no, that's not for me. Whatever
yeah,
that thought is, that's not
yeah,
for me. It
yeah,
gets kicked out.
yeah.
And
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, no, that goes just what I wanted to ask you about,
Mhm.
recognizing a false narrative, right?
Yeah.
Um, so how do you kind of how do you do that now? Or how do you like to help people do that now?
Yeah, yeah. I do think everything starts within. And that's one of the places I suggest people start with whatever comes to you, whatever you're needing to do, go within first and see what spirit is saying, your higher self is saying. Find that comfort place within in you. And its true self is a muscle, right? That you start to hone. You find it, you start to clarify it, you start to hone it, you start to strengthen it, and you get better at deciphering what is aligned with you, what's not aligned with you. Um, and everything, we get how many thoughts a day? I mean, millions
Right.
of them, they say a day. Not everyone is meant to stay. Right? Not all thoughts are meant to stay. You can let them ride off, shake off, whatever. But the ones that you know that are at the same frequency with you, those are the ones that will resonate. And the other ones I've learned to just like, yeah, that's not resonating with where I am. So either maybe it's for later or maybe it's for something else, or I don't know where that came from. I let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to learn to kind of self filter, self guard, and not from a place of fear, but from a place of high value. My mind, my thoughts are worth it. They're worth my filtering out what's for me, what's not for me, because what's in my thought will create my reality at some point,
Mhm.
particularly things we tend to meditate on, that we think on a lot. at some point, because we are so powerful, though we will see that in the natural at some point in our lives. So that's why I think it's important that we know who we are and then start to think from that place,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you recommend for someone who's kind of new to pursuing it or looking at their true self? And this also kind of couples with meditation.
Mhm.
Um, how do you talk to people about kind of how do you locate that true self? Like physically in your either in your day to day,
Mhm.
or what are some things that you do practically in the physical world that
Mhm.
helps you get connected to that true self?
Yeah, yeah. Again, first step I think is being comfortable going within yourself. Some people I know have a hard time spending time with themselves, even just 5 minutes. They cannot be alone. They can't be in the silence. I think it's getting comfortable just being with
Sitting
myself,
with you.
sitting with you, let's say 5 minutes. And maybe you don't do anything. You just sit with yourself. If something comes up, you can write it down. But you want to be comfortable going within yourself. Because again, from my biblical roots and everything, even though I see scriptures and the ancient writings a little bit different now, a lot of the truth still rings in my head and in my heart. So when you go within, it is a knowing yourself, right? Get to know yourself, be comfortable, going there, and that can be through meditation, it could be with soft music. It could be with journaling or scribbling or writing. Anything that says, let me hear and let me see, let me feel what's in, and then let me try to um articulate it outward so I'll get to know me. And it could be a scribble, it could be anything that might communicate what you feel. So I do that, through meditation. I love to do that through walks outside. Sometimes with music on, sometimes with not, and I look at nature, I'll hear the birds. I will just be a time where I commune with me. I think people it's good to get comfortable to say it's not just me, right? It's not my physical self I'm talking about. It's my spiritual self that's connected to something larger. So I think part of it is your first comfort level with you. And then when you get that, I think is to draw a picture, write a picture, do a story of who that person is, and start your day with appreciating that person and telling that person something about themselves. What are you thinking in your mind? You know, good morning. What are we going to do today? Are you fine? Do need to call somebody? Just whatever that conversation might be with you, to 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 check in with you, to clock in with you, to connect with you first before other people. And then after that, there's some time where we do need to detach from thoughts that run contrary to that. Even some people don't feel like they should love themselves first. They gotta love other people. They
Sure.
gotta do everything for other people first. And
Right.
and somewhere we agreed that nobility was putting yourself last.
Yeah.
But that's contrary to nature, it's contrary to universe, and it's contrary to ancient writings. You love others as you love yourself. So that assumes you love yourself
Right. Right.
so you can love others. And I've
Right.
learned that if I don't love myself, what I'm doing with other people is not love. It's something else.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's
And for some
huge.
yeah, and for some people I know it is um fear. It is, I'm gonna treat you well so you'll think well of me. Again, it's performative, is fear, is some feeling of inadequacy in themselves
Mhm.
that they have to shower you with all these great things
Mhm.
so that you would then say, "Oh, you're so wonderful," because they need that external validation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the steps to true self, we have to reverse that and say, "I validate within so that then I can express that out."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my dad, his wonderful, loving self, and he was always spitting wisdom. His big thing was charity starts at home and spread abroad.
And he was a
So
preacher,
yeah,
wasn't he?
he's a
Was he a
preacher.
preacher? Yeah.
Almost 50 years. Yep, almost 50 years. And he always loved to give people his wisdom. Lived and borrowed and everything.
Sure.
But one of his big thing was that charity starts at home. What you do at home, then you spread abroad. I liken that to helping people from an overflowing cup. Right. I give to you, I give to others from my overflow, whether that's
Mhm.
material or spiritual or mental or whatever. It comes from an overflow. I can't give you anything that I don't have myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. I think that finding yourself, what I notice, and I'll be really, I'm really trying to do much better at this, is that sometimes I would wake up in the morning and grab my phone. Like, first
yeah.
thing you do, you wake up, you grab your phone, and you start scrolling through your phone. And
Mm-hmm.
you're either looking at news or you're looking at social media or you're looking. And it's like when you do that first thing in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
you take your attention directly away from you
Yeah.
and you either pollute it with all this stuff.
Yeah.
You can enrich it too. You can enrich it,
Mm-hmm.
but you're giving yourself, you're exposing yourself to all the stuff that isn't you
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. And
Yeah.
so lately, what I've been trying to do is get a cup of coffee and go sit outside. We have a nice lanai right outside my
Mm-hmm.
bedroom and just sit
Mm-hmm.
with my coffee and not even pick that phone up
Yes.
because I think what you just said, you just need to know yourself. And if people don't have I'm always trying to talk to people about establishing a meditation practice because that sitting in the silence
Mm-hmm.
can be really uncomfortable. But once you start practicing it
Sure.
and you get comfortable with it, you do learn so much
You
about
do.
yourself. And
Yeah.
you start to hear all these when these voices come in who we don't necessarily know where they're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and you can, like, then pick them out better and go, "That's not me. That's not where's that coming from?" And, um, and the more I just think now that we have these phones and it's, like, so much stuff and the beauty of connecting, but it's also it takes us away from who we are.
It does. It does.
So,
And
I think
we
that's so important what you said.
You're so right. You're so right. And we have to be careful, again, guarding our hearts, guarding our minds, that we do it in order. Because these are wonderful tools. Without them, you and I wouldn't be chatting today
Agree,
and enjoying the
agree.
other people who are on.
Yeah,
But they have to be in order. Right. So starting your morning with you, with your higher connection, whatever that is that grounds you in your day, then you make room. You have room for the other things that
yeah,
come. So I like what you said with that, Laurie, that you start the day, and I say end the day with your inner connection, right? Because all these things are going to be happening all the time. There's going to be
yeah,
tons of things to get your attention, whether it's social media or paying bills or fixing the car or something, taking care of
yeah,
there's always going to be things to get your attention. But without you being grounded, there's not much you can do for
right,
anything else. And that
right,
that will look different for everyone. But I like what you're saying, waking up from hopefully a restful sleep, your body has done its thing in that sleep. Your mind start to wake up. You want to say great things to the mind. Your body starts to wake up. You want to do good things for your body, stretch a little bit or whatever, because all of that is part of you. They may not be you, but they make up part of you. And then grounding yourself for then what comes next. And I think when we do that too, we're more intentional about what we want to accomplish that day versus letting something on social media or the news or whatever hijack that precious
yeah,
time, the precious
yeah,
24 hours we have,
yeah,
into jumping into somebody else's thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay, I'm gonna review the questions. Let's
Okay.
see if there's anything right here. Uh, oh my gosh. Sorry. Let's see what else we have. Raina. has joined. Thank you so much. Brenda Voice has joined. Let's see, here's a question. Let's see, Tanya, I agree that creating comes in all aspects. Substack's a great platform for so many who support, I mean, the creativity to find like-minded individuals and also to give back. The reciprocity and the community building here has been great. Yeah. And Carl says, question, why do we hold back when we can trash the canvas? Interesting, Carl.
Interesting, Carl.
That is
That's a good
interesting.
yeah, it's a good question, Carl, and probably because we fear judgment sometimes from ourselves. We can be the harshest one. Like when I was writing my piece, I'm judging every word. So we don't want to put it out there because with those first drafts or the first work that you're doing on the canvas, you're the only one seeing it. So why should you
Right.
hold back? Because we fear our self judgment, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
we're judging it based on what we think other people are going to think, or is it good enough, or is it better than Van Gogh, or all of this
Yeah.
stuff in our head.
It's just this, if we can, I found that just, I, I don't it'd be great maybe if we could start a group that wants to help people to start learning how to meditate, because I think that all those things you just talked about are so important. I think people maybe don't start a practice because they don't think they can, or they think it's something that you're sitting and I mean, a lot of times you are sitting, sure, but that it's this mystical thing that cannot be reached, or I can't sit still, or I don't know how to meditate. But the way you just talked about it, if you're just gonna it can just be like sitting in stillness with a
Yeah,
notebook,
yeah,
or,
yeah.
it
Just the
could just
quiet.
be just the
Is it
quiet.
just yeah, just comfortable being by yourself, but not being lonely. We're not talking about that, but just sitting with yourself to say, "Hey, what are you thinking?" I do know a lot of people have fear of looking within. So that's why they're better and they feel more comfortable performing on the stage because they don't have to go in because they fear what they might find.
Yeah.
But I think it's retraining and reframing a lot of the language to love every piece of you.
Mhm.
Some that was done, to you by people who love you or whatever, but it's
Right.
okay. And we can go in and look at those things and figure out how we reframe them in ways of love and gratitude and care to move them away from things that hold us, things that bind us,
Yeah.
you know, from being true self. Our
Yes.
that freest self is our truest self. So, but there are some things inside that can bind us from that. So, people who want to be free, we can work together and get connected on, how do I feel comfortable starting to look inside?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times we're taught not to look inside. We're taught to look on the outside. How
Yeah.
pretty you are, how tall you are, all of these external
Yeah.
descriptions that make us think, well, if I look like this, if I wear this, if my hair is this way, then everything's good.
Yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
on the outside is not the most important thing. It's the
Yeah.
inside that we want to really get clear and clarity and love and all of the good stuff so that then it will express itself outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
will. Yeah. Hi,
Oh,
Raina. I saw you in there.
trash that canvas, see what we can get to work with. All the angry is gone. Um, was there anything else, that you want to, I mean, I could talk to you for 3 hours. Is there anything that you wanna,
I know.
um, talk, anything else you wanna promote today before we finish up?
No,
Or
no, just invite, those of you who feel led, definitely join us and subscribe to True Self Society. I would love to have Lots of conversations like this where we can build community. True Self Society is new, it's young, but I would like to be able to connect where we can have these conversations and, like you said, get together and have yoga and meditation and silence and understand the juiciness, the power that's on the inside of us that has nothing to do with what we look like, that then we can use on the outside, and that we're all creators. I hear on my live before when I interviewed Samia Ali, she was talking about how people would say, "Oh, I wish I could create like you." She's a visual artist, and she was like, "We all have that ability. We're all creating something." And
Mhm.
I said, "We're creating all the time." Maybe outside of sleep, there is no time that we're not creating something.
Right.
So that's a joy, and that's our strength, our power that we have, that we can create this, come together and build something bigger than just the one me.
Yeah.
Um, and be okay, be comfortable being you. That's my other big thing. One of my favorite visual artists is William Henry Johnson. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's a primitive artist. Um, let's see. This is I have a lot of
William
his stuff,
Henry
but
Johnson's.
this is one of his
Oh,
pieces.
that looks familiar to me, that
Yeah,
style.
he's
Yes.
a primitive artist. I have a few of
Yeah.
his pieces, and his big thing was, in order to express a feeling on canvas, you first have to feel it. So I
Mm.
encourage everyone to feel what you're feeling and frame it in something that's good for you, in a way that's good for you, and let that germinate and express outward.
Yeah.
I hope everyone will adopt some type of a creation practice, whether it's a scribble or writing or drawing or doodling of coloring books, anything.
Crafting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crafting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people would always say, well, they would like a lot of times people will look at art like art as this, um, elitist kind of thing, like, "Oh, you're an artist," or "I don't
Mhm. Mhm.
understand art," or whatever, and I'm always saying, "You don't have to understand it. You just you don't even have to know what you're looking at. You can just it's like almost just like with sitting with yourself, right? If
Yeah.
you can sit quiet with a piece of artwork and it can talk to you, it can tell you something about yourself. It can tell
Yes.
you about what you
Yes.
like and what you don't like. And
Yes.
you don't have I mean there's that whole art part there where people are super uppity and they're like, "Don't you understand what it's about?" and blah blah blah. And I think that's a I know that exists and it's out there and that's fine. But that's not what I wanna if people are interested in art, they don't have to have some art history background, they don't have to have
Mhm.
this greatest educated experience of what art is. It is
Mhm.
just what it is to you.
Yeah.
It's like food, it's like
Yes.
drink, it's like
Yes.
whatever you connect with,
Yeah.
that's what you like, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe, and you can always write about what you like about art, you can write about what you like about writing. Um what are you do you have anything you're reading right now that you wanna share? Or
I
any
am
good books you've read lately?
Oh man, it's so many. But I am reading Shonda Rhimes' 10th anniversary edition of My Year of Saying Yes. It just came out. It's yeah, she wrote the first one 10 years ago, and it's a good positive energy about her life and the time and what she said yes to. And I think it fits with where I am in that I'm saying yes to me. I'm saying yes to being true me.
That's
And
wonderful.
yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Well, and I think too, like, a lot of people wait to say that. Like, women, a lot of women will
Yeah.
wait to their "Well, I'll wait till my kids are older," or "I'll wait till I get this promotion," or "I'll
Yeah.
wait till so and such
Mhm.
happens,"
Wait
and
till
it's
I
like
lose 20 pounds.
right, right, and we don't you're never there. You're
Yeah.
never there.
You
You're
never
only
did.
right here.
You only
Yeah.
right here. You only
And
right
so you're
here.
you're worth figuring out who you are, like, right now.
Right
Like,
now.
don't waste any more time
Right,
trying to live
right,
your
right,
life or serve anybody,
right,
serve something
right.
that's not serving you.
Right,
So
right, right. And one of the things I do want to do, like you mentioned earlier, is to have younger people embrace this um, early in their lives. I think the latest generation is doing a better job of that. The 20th, 25-year-olds are doing a better
mhm,
job of accepting themselves, and that way they accept other people. Um,
mhm.
so I would like to see us, you know, learn this earlier so we can live this beautiful life longer,
Yeah.
a freer,
Mhm.
joyful, elevated life longer, doing what you want to do. Not getting caught up in the
Amen.
big house and the expensive car and the nice handbags and the clothes and the jewelry and all these things that, nothing wrong with enjoying it, but, it's external things. Get to the point where you can do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it without harming anyone else.
Right, right.
And you can enjoy every moment along the way.
Amen,
So,
amen, and
mm,
when you just said, "I think more lived experience as examples of how to be with yourself." Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
I like
examples
that.
of that. Yeah.
Mhm. That's a good one.
Well,
Thank you for that. I'm gonna write that
thank
down.
you.
Yep, yep, yep.
Netta, thank you so much. I look
Thank
forward to
you.
maybe there's something that we could develop together where it's a combination of, journal and meditation. I do this thing with, my friend Kathy Lya, and it's called Be Free Pathways, and we have an online, it's a free group. It's just if they're subscribers, you don't even have to subscribe, but if you subscribe, you'll get the
Mhm.
notifications. And we do it like every other Wednesday, and it's like a group from 10 to 11:30, and we start with like a meditation. Yeah, we do a check-in, and then we do a meditation, and then we have a prompt. And then the prompt, like, leads either journaling or scribbling or drawing or whatever. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's a really small group, that past people have joined it, but, maybe that's something that we could also do something different,
Yeah.
um, but where it encourages people to come to a safe space. It would be in a closed Zoom call,
Yeah.
and you can experience sitting quietly with yourself,
Yeah.
and you can experience being supported while creating something.
I love
Um,
that. Just let me
that
know
might
how.
be
Reach out. Let's do
okay.
that. There might so many people in our communities were taught not to meditate. That right. It was just too Eastern, it's not this
Mm,
religion or that,
yeah,
whatever. We don't do that.
right.
But such a powerful thing just to know yourself.
Just know
Yeah,
yourself.
just to know yourself.
Amen.
So, yeah, count me in. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Imma
Okay,
hound
ma'am.
you on that.
Okay. I look forward to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for having me, Laurie. This was wonderful.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
feel
I look
high
forward to
after
your
this.
oh, me too. And for everybody else, so this will come out formally on Thursday with and Netta has answered like 12 or 13 questions on her creative process and her history, growing up and how creativity was really helpful for her. So I encourage you guys all to read that.
Yeah.
Um, and thanks for tuning in with your questions. It's been wonderful. Netta, it's been a wonderful time with
Thank you. It
you.
has. Thank you.
And
Thanks everyone for joining and showing up. I
yeah,
appreciate you. I love you. Go
yeah,
be
yeah.
true
Love
self.
you too. You go be, go be.
Go be free, be true self.
That's right. Okay. Thanks
All
so
right.
much. Have a great
Bye.
rest of your day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.